Welcome to Grey County Life. I'm JC Coutts.
I'm Sarah Carmichael. On the show today, we're going to be talking to Allison and Sam, who are photographers with the Owen Sound Attack. We'll also be checking in with Annette and Sarah from Safe and Sound to talk about their upcoming Coldest Night of the Year fundraiser. And of course, Renee will be joining us in studio for the probably favorite segment of the show with the adoptable pet segment. Last week we had adorable puppy dogs, and I guess we'll have to wait and see who joins us today. How have you been?
I've been good. Been busy, although this past weekend, the Owen Sound Attack, of course, did not have any home games, so that meant that we had our weekends off. So
you don't know what to do with the time.
It's so insane. I said to my wife, I was like, so you have me for the weekend? And she went, oh. And I went, no, it's good. We'll figure some stuff out. So, and actually, because the weather's been so nice, we did some outdoor stuff. Went down to McGregor Provincial Park, which is beautiful this time of year. Unfortunately, not quite cold enough for the skating oval.
I was going to ask if the skating oval was open.
No, unfortunately not. But the hiking has been great. So, I mean, you know this as a dog parent, as a fellow dog parent. We're in that magical time right now where the ground is either not frozen and it's muddy or it is frozen. So do you take them out? How do you adjust the walk route? Yeah, it's a tough time to be a dog owner.
It is. And I've been noticing too that you have to be careful where you are taking them, because it's what I call sharp snow. You might notice like the snow has been covered by, a layer of ice, and it's melting and it's creating sort of like a sharpness, and doggy paws can get cut up, and you have to be really careful. I mean, even we took our dogs out to the Tom Thompson Trail, and we usually just take them up and down the trail, and it's a nice little spot, and we love it because it's nice and open. But the snow out there was kind of like that sharp snow. So we had to be really careful where we were walking. And it's definitely something to keep in mind if you are a dog owner and you are going to be out with your dogs. That is something you want to watch for. We took our dogs to Harrison Park as well recently. Place was packed, absolutely packed. Everywhere we saw it, we walked in the park. There was other people walking, other dogs. The restaurant was booming as well. So it was really great to see everybody enjoying that space. We're so lucky to have it right there, downtown, a nice big park, a big open space. It really is a gem for sure.
It's so great to go down to Harrison Park. And by the way, the Park Burger. Oh, every month or two I have to go just to the Harrison Park Inn restaurant just for a Park Burger.
To be fair, I've never had anything that wasn't delicious at the restaurant. They have the Park Clubhouse sandwich as well that we really enjoy, and there's like a shrimp that they do as like an appetizer. It's like a kapow shrimp or something. It's really good too. Highly recommend.
Now we've got everybody hungry.
Now that I'm starving.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been it was a very low key weekend for us as well. I'm used to being at the Attack games, so it was kind of a what do I do with my time kind of weekend. But it was nice, and of course now that we know we're going to get an early winter because of Wiarton Willie's prediction, we're just going to continue looking towards that, I guess.
I know. I feel like we're probably still not done. You get into that fall sense, and really the month of January that we had, at the early part of February with those nice temperatures, those sunny days that we finally got, you think, well, we're done. I might as well book the appointment to get the snow tires off now.
Yeah.
Don't. You know it's coming.
Yeah, I was thinking about that actually recently, because I also want to get my car detailed because it is filthy. So I thought, okay, when I bring it in to get the tires swapped out, I'll also get it cleaned at the same time, because it's just covered in dog hair and muddy footprints, and it's going to take a miracle, to be honest, but a lot of these detailers are miracle workers, so I thought I'll do this all at once. But I don't know when. I don't know, should I wait till April? Should I, do you think I'm okay for end of March? I'm not really sure. I feel like if I do it too early, I'm going to jinx it, and it's just going to start storming, and it'll be my fault. Just like if I wash my car, if I go and spend money for a car wash, $10 to $14, in the car washes, without fail, the following day it's raining. And I could have just waited and got a free car wash. So it happens every time.
Speaking of car washes, did you see the lines last week when it was sunny and 9 degrees? I thought, you know what, it's 2 in the afternoon and won't be that busy. There were at least 10, 15 cars in line at every place I went.
It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. If it's a nice sunny day, every car wash is lined up, whether it's the self-serve, the ones that you do yourself, or the ones that you drive through. packed. Absolutely, yeah.
Do you have a preference? Do you prefer the ones that work for you, or do you like to do the work?
It depends on how much time I have. Honestly, like if I've got nothing to do, I'll go clean my car myself. I'll put the loonies in and get the brush out, no problem. But if it's just one of those, like I just want to be in and out, I got like a half an hour or less, I'll do one of the drive-through ones. It honestly really depends on my laziness level, I guess, that day.
I'm usually, it's not so much laziness as it is cheapness, because I don't want to pay the extra for the machine. So I always have a little contest with myself to see if I can finish within the 5-minute window that you usually get, because I think it's like 5 minutes for however many dollars that you get. So I try to get everything done, including the wax, in that 5 minutes. And my wife has said that when she's sitting in the car while I'm doing this, watching it, she says it's the funniest thing in the world, because I probably shouldn't move as fast as I do, and to see a big dude move that fast is very comical. Just to think of John Belushi, think of John Candy, think of any of these big dudes moving around a car trying to save $2, that's me.
You to save $2, you basically like are going to be dripping in sweat and soap by the end of it.
I consider it also a workout, though.
Well, you could absolutely. She should videotape it and put it on YouTube and make some money off of that.
I feel like I've earned a park burger after that. So then you can go down to there.
You can justify it. You're like, I just had a full workout washing my car. That's so funny. But yeah, it's definitely getting to be that time of year when people are going to be spending money at the car wash and getting their vehicles all cleaned up. I just got to get the dog hair out of my car. Yeah. But at the same time, it's just going to get covered in dog hair again. So it's one of those things that I'm like, why do I bother? It's just going to get dirty. Anyway.
Well, we'll get you there someday. We've got a busy show today. We are so happy. We're going to get an update on Safe and Sound, Owen Sound, find out what's happening at the organization. Sarah and Annette are going to be here. Plus, they're preparing for coldest night of the year, of course, on February 24th. So we'll learn more about all the plans for that big event. Also, the Owen Sound Attack have two amazing photographers. Allison and Sam are both going to be here to talk about some of their incredible work that they do with the team and tell some of the stories that they get to learn about the players as well. And of course, Renee is here from the Owen Sound Animal Shelter. We'll meet an animal before it's all said and done today. Stay tuned. We're watching Great County Life on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Our family used to be so fun. Now my brother takes care of me. I miss Mom and Dad being around more. Mom says things are going to get better.
Was that 4 or 5? He's lost count and still thinks he can drive. Do you think he knows that when he is caught and charged with impaired driving, he'll lose his license and a lot more? If he gets in his car, he'll face costs exceeding $20,000. Does he realize he could have a criminal record for his choice to drive? And it could be much worse if he crashes. Wonder what he'll be thinking tomorrow.
Have a Holden one at 15.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Grey County Life. Now joining us in studio from Safe and Sound, we have Sarah and Annette. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
Great. Okay, so let's get right into it. I know that you're really busy right now because your big fundraiser is coming up in a few weeks. Tell us about the coldest night of the year.
Yeah, totally. Well, maybe this is Sarah's strong suit, so I'll let Sarah lead us off.
So it's happening February 24th. and it's something that's been going on for years now for Safe and Sound. But it really happens in a whole bunch of other locations. It's just the Owen Sound one happens to benefit Safe and Sound. And you can sign up at cnoy.org/Owen Sound, and there's still lots of time to sign up. We're really excited. It starts at 4 p.m., the registration, and then everyone gets to walking. There's a 4K, or there's a 2K and a 5K. And so it's just whatever your ability is, or you can just kind of do something on your own. You don't really need to do the full walk yourself.
Or like me, who walked the first block last year and then turned around and came back.
You're like, that's enough.
Don't tell anyone that, but
Secret safe.
Yeah,
here.
okay, good.
Yeah.
And then everyone comes back, and there's going to be like loads of food and drink, and we're going to have some speakers. And this year we are actually raffling off some attack gear. We have a signed shirt and a signed stick and 4 attack tickets. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So where does the registration actually happen? Is it at Safe and Sound, or is it like by the farmer's market?
It's at the farmer's market.
Okay, so they register there. That's where the walk starts from. And then
that's where the walk ends.
Okay, so it's just like a loop basically of the downtown area, which is awesome. And then you're going to conclude with more kind of socializing and learning more about Safe and Sound and what the fundraising is going towards. What is the goal for this year?
We have set a pretty big goal for ourselves this year. It's our biggest goal yet. We are trying for $80,000.
Okay.
And we're about 25% of the way there.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
And I saw too, I think there was a post on the Facebook page, there's quite a few new teams that have signed up this year.
Yes. Last I looked at how many new teams there was 15 new teams, but I think there's more now. So we have 34 teams altogether and 170 walkers, I think, so far, but that really grows in the last 10 days before the event.
Yeah, and it's important for people to know to sign up to walk to make sure that they can get a lovely toque like you have on today. So if you want to make sure that you get a toque, you have to raise, the threshold is $100, I think.
150
or 100, we'll see. and make sure that you're signed up so that we have enough toques for everybody. And also when we come back, there's food at the farmers market, generously provided by our friends at O'Share. So it's a great coming together of a lot of different community supports. We feel the love, and that's awesome.
Definitely, yeah. And I saw that Starbucks is going to be providing coffee.
Yes. So we have actually 2 coffee providers now. So Starbucks is going to be doing when people come back from the walk, and Believer Coffee, which is local, is going to be doing before the walk starts.
Nice.
So people can be just filled right up with
well
their coffee.
caffeinated.
Yeah.
They'll all finish that 5K in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Super, they're going to be all well caffeinated to start, and then they're going to be well, I got to get back and get more coffee to keep this this going.
I think that also the halfway break point is at Safe and Sound, so there'll be coffee there too. So just to make sure,
there'll be no shortage.
Don't worry. Yeah, we'll make sure if you want coffee, there's some coffee. Yeah.
And so the whole thing about coldest night of the year, it's to shine the light on homelessness. Obviously, Owen Sound downtown, Safe and Sound is a big part of trying to, first of all, help those that are finding themselves there, and to also try to end it. The 80,000, that's the goal this year. How close will that get you to getting to the next step of achieving that goal in this city?
Well, for us, primarily that 80,000 will go towards trying to keep the doors open through the summer months, because that's a time where we receive funding from the county this winter from November 1st to April 1st to be open 24 hours and be open at night. And we do receive some funding from the county for the rest of the year, but fundraising is really the main way that we're able to keep the doors open. And so there's a lot of time where it's rainy and it's not always great to be outside all summer, and people also need cooling stations, not just warming stations. And so the target of this money is to really be able to offer our services throughout the summer as well, and in particular to over the weekends, because there's not a lot of places for people to go. O'Share is wonderful, but it's not open on Sundays. So that's one example of a day where we would ideally like to be open for longer on Sundays, so that we can also provide people a meal on Sunday nights, which is not something that we consistently do now, but we are really lucky. We have a lot of people who donate food to us. Anybody can donate prepared meals. They don't necessarily have to call ahead and let us know either, but we get wonderful lasagnas brought to the door, and anything like that we're always really open to having people and really happy to get.
Wow, I never thought to do that.
Yeah.
Like I will often drop things off, like juice boxes and granola bars and like kind of that snack stuff that is like kind of a grab and go, because I know that you guys will have those grab and go bags for people. And so when I donate items, I kind of look for that sort of stuff, which is always,
that's great too.
Which is always great. But I never thought of like making like a lasagna or two and dropping those off, because, but it makes perfect sense. Like, it wouldn't go
muffins,
waste.
Yeah, totally. Anything that's, we have one person, the muffin man, and he makes, I think that he just really likes making muffins and eating fresh muffins himself, but you can't eat maybe a whole batch, so he'll bring in he doubles his batch and then brings us kind of 3/4 of it, and it's wonderful to feel all the support around us.
Wow. Yeah. Now, as far as your needs right now, like what are things that you are finding that you're constantly like needing for the participants? Like, is there certain clothing items or certain supplies that you always seem to be needing?
Definitely underwear and socks.
Okay.
Are really big ones. And right now in particular, we're looking for pants. Mostly like smaller sizes and belts.
Yeah, it's kind of things that people don't usually think about donating a belt or shoelaces. We get a lot of people needing shoelaces, because then maybe you need a belt, so off comes the shoelace for a belt, and a lot of creative fashion choices need to be made. And also actually we are really short on coats this year, so that's something that we're still always accepting of donations.
Right, and I specifically like kind of like smaller sized items. I feel like that's something that you are kind of always looking for. Like I remember when I worked with Safe and Sound as part of the board, we would be sorting our donations, and we would often get a lot of like larger sizes donated because people would maybe do a weight loss journey, and then they would donate the clothing that no longer fits them, and a lot of the participants are smaller. So not that you're not thankful for the donation, but a lot of those clothing items don't fit anybody that would need them. So thinking about those smaller sizes is something too, as you said, like smaller size pants, as you mentioned, and even like smaller size coats and stuff too.
Definitely, yeah. And if anybody's gone on a weight journey the other way too, we'll take the smaller sizes. We'll take it all.
Right. You mentioned that this was was this the first year that there was funding that the Safe and Sound was able to be open 24 hours through the winter?
Yeah, so that's been an exciting adventure for us. We're up to seeing over 70 people a day consistently, which is a lot for us. For people who don't know, our space is pretty small, and now those 70 people, they're not all there all day every day. People are very different about their patterns. Some people just need to come in and make a phone call or use the washroom, and then they're on their way. We have a lot of people who treat it almost almost as a hub. So a lot of people come in and will meet their workers from Canadian Mental Health or the community living workers. They'll have a set time, 9 a.m. every morning we meet at Safe and Sound. So it's kind of a neutral spot for people to make connections. And so on average at night, we're at our capacity. And same, I think that in the month of January, we had an average of 22 people every night. So again, those people aren't all staying the whole night per se, but we have definitely there's a lot of people who need the service, despite the county's motel program and also Moikwadong's motel program. There's more people than those programs can currently serve.
And it's amazing now that there's just at least, and you said some don't stay the whole night, but they just have some place to go that's warm.
Totally.
And prior to this winter, that was not an option before that funding came through.
Yeah.
Will that funding be there next year again from local government?
It's a good question. Yeah, I'm having a meeting about that tomorrow, so we'll see. But I really see it as a community, we have to pay for things one way or another. And we either have to pay through our hospital system, through people who get frostbite and have adverse health impacts of being outside. We have to pay through our policing systems. We have to pay through our parks department, all of these things, or we can fund preventative initiatives and interventions like Safe and Sound. So when people talk about our funding, I like to try and reframe it as where are the savings then coming on the other side of that, because certainly it's harder to measure and show a lack of something. So it's hard to show, well, these people haven't got frostbite this winter in a tangible way, but we know that would have happened and that would have been a factor in the community, and so we're really happy to be able to be there for people.
And for I guess one of the criticisms that people might put towards any sort of an organization where, you're helping people on a daily basis, some people might throw out the words like enabling, and really you're just contributing to the problem, you're not stopping it. But you mentioned that mental health organizations are in there. They're meeting with people, they're meeting with professionals. So there is an off-ramp to get out of the situations that they're in. That services, those are provided. So it's not just if anybody is misappropriating Safe and Sound. I'm just trying to dispel that. It's not just, there is a purpose here.
Totally. And I think that there's a really hard line for people to see on the outside between we're trying to offer people dignity in the trauma that is homelessness that they're going through, while also it is in a hotel and it is in a nice place to stay, and ideally it's not something that we wish as a community we would need to have. And that's something that I think is important for us to say too, that we would love to just be a service that was needed on a drop-in basis during the day, a meeting spot for folks in the community to come together, but that's not what is being asked of us as a whole society right now. And so it's not at the Hilton. Right. And I think that it's tough to see people with their head on a table, and that's kind of their spot to stay for a couple weeks. And it's not something that people aspire to be at and stay at. And so thank you for asking about it, because I do think that there is a bit of a misconception that people are living the good life. And I'm not trying to say that some people aren't enjoying their lives, because we can, of course people are living and laughing there too, but it's hard.
So events like Coldest Night of the Year are one way that we can get fundraising. Are there any other big fundraisers in the year that Safe and Sound does, or that people should maybe keep in mind if they're looking to help at some point?
Well, we're going to announce some new fundraisers soon, so that's exciting, and that's going to come through our website, which Sarah just launched. So I don't know if you wanted to mention more about that at all.
I just launched our newly redesigned website just this afternoon. You can go to it, safeandsoundgraybruce.ca, and it's just lighter, brighter. It's a lot more positive than our older website, and it has a lot more information on our services, ways that people can get involved, whether it's safe and sound or just in the community in general. And I think it's going to be a really positive thing for us. Yeah.
It's also somewhere that people can donate as well. There's our platform on Canada Helps there for people that can give a donation.
Mm-hmm. In terms of volunteers, if people are thinking that they might want to help out, but they've got the time and energy to put towards Safe and Sound, what kind of opportunities exist for people that want to physically be in the space every day and making a difference?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different ways people can volunteer. They can definitely volunteer by being physically in the space, doing things like handing out some coffee, helping us sort all of the clothing that we do have, helping us do laundry, those kinds of things. And also for people who maybe aren't as keen or not able to come into the space, then there's a lot of other opportunities too, like donating your time for an event like Coldest Night of the Year, joining the board of directors is also an option for people. We have people do other campaigns, like they'll collect some food items, let's say, at their work. So I think that all of those different forms of volunteerism offers a lot of opportunities, and there's actually a part of the website where people can sign up and indicate that they're interested in volunteering, and Sarah will connect with them and be able to find especially like a dream, like you're a carpenter, or maybe you're a plumber, or you're an electrician, or you know how to build a closet. We would love you to stop in by. Yeah.
We could use your skill set.
We could use your skill set. Yes, definitely. Or if you're just really good at sorting clothes, we need you.
Yeah.
I guess I should ask for those that have the skilled trades and the tools. And is there like a specific project right now you guys would love to get done if you just had somebody with the know-how?
A good question. Well, right now our big thing is we have 4 transitional housing units above Safe and Sound, and those units are a bit more weathered, maybe, shall we say. And so one of our units right now is vacant, and so some of our participants actually have been working to paint it and sort of get it ready for the next person who's going to move in next week. So it's really, I feel really proud, that as a community they're coming together and trying to get that space feeling more like a home for the new person who's going to come in. So there's no shortage of holes in the wall is really what it comes down to.
If you got some spackle,
We've got, yes, totally. And if you don't have the spackle, we have the spackle if you know how to use it. Yeah.
All right. Well, Annette, Sarah, we've got about 30 seconds left. One more time, for people that want to sign up for Coldest Night of the Year, how would they do that? What's the easiest way?
Yeah, if you're looking to sign up a team for Coldest Night of the Year, go to cnoy.org/OwenSound.
Perfect.
Safe and Sound has the brand new website that's just now out, thanks to Sarah. What's the website address again?
safeandsoundgraybruce.ca.
Awesome.
Amazing.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for being here. Best of luck to both of you with the big event coming up on February 24th, and best of luck with continued success with running Safe and Sound Grey Bruce.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We've got more coming up. You're watching Grey County Life on Rogers TV.
Leonard Thompson, 13 years old, diabetes mellitus, 65 pounds.
Starve the child to let them live. The treatment's as cruel as the disease. It's a death sentence.
Dr. Banting, this could be it. He's the first to receive this trial. But will it save him?
It's not pure enough. So we try again. And again. And again.
Before the discovery of insulin, diabetes was a death sentence. Banting, Best, Collop, and McLeod's breakthrough has saved millions of lives. Leonard Thompson's was the first.
Unbelievable! You just never see that.
The OHL on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Grey County Life. We are joined now by Allison Kennedy Davies and Sam Bushback. They are photographers who both work with the Owen Sound Attack and have done some amazing work, which if you've been in the Attack shop lately, you've probably seen this book, photographs from last season, the players and some of the stories, and just incredible work. So both of you, thanks so much for coming by today to talk a little bit about what you do with the team.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us for sure.
Let's start with, I guess it's good to know how long you've been taking photographs. When did you start taking pictures, Allison?
Oh boy. I'm substantially older than Sam, so I think I'm at 30-ish years now of shooting. I went to college for photojournalism, and since then I've shot. I worked at the Sun-Times here in town. I've shot the X Games a number of times, Canadian motocross racing for like a decade. And then just after COVID, I started to get into hockey, and I think the timing just worked out well that the Attack was looking to sort of broaden what they were doing, and yeah, I guess this is our second full year of doing that, so.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, love photography, did a lot of sport, but hadn't necessarily done hockey until the Attack.
I had shot hockey for the Sun-Times. We used to actually shoot from the penalty box when there was no glass, and you had to wear a helmet that the newspaper provided to you, and the players would come in and they'd say, "Nice helmet," and I would say, "You're bleeding." And I knew I loved it then, but there wasn't really an opportunity to be there often at that time. So.
And Sam, what about you? When did you start?
So I kind of went to school for photography too at Georgian College. That was about 2012. I would have graduated out of there and started doing it ever since. Started doing cattle photos and horse photos and that kind of stuff. Always loved sports and don't know why I never really got into it. Shot a little bit in college for a couple guys that kind of went pro skiing and pro downhill stuff, so that was kind of fun. And then, yeah, about the same time Allison started with the Attack, I asked to shadow John Carrick, who was doing it ahead of time. And after that season was done, he asked, well, do you want to take over? Because I'm done. So I was like, sure, love to. And then Greg kind of emailed us at the same time, and the rest is, this is where we're at. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I should probably ask you, I know, Allison, you mentioned that you got started quite a few years before when you went for photojournalism. Are you to the point where you've actually like developed your own film? Have you done that?
Oh yeah, because I'm that old.
I've developed film.
Film too. We all love that part of photography.
I feel kind of lucky that way because my college program was just finishing like right before digital was starting. So yeah, so there was a dark room, and I went through all the learning process of that there. I don't know, did you guys still do that?
Not in college. We did it still in high school. We still had a dark room and played around with it there, but other than that, we didn't do a whole lot.
And then I was around when like the newspapers started to use digital. They were actually really awful. They didn't have a screen on the back, so it was actually worse than film because you would go shoot and then come back and download and you'd be like, oh, I have nothing.
These are blurry.
Yeah. Perfect.
This is great.
The way things are right now, I would say is
it's wild.
The peak of what you can
Absolutely
produce. It's
wild.
just crazy.
Well, even your iPhone nowadays, like the photo quality just from your cell phone is so much more advanced than it used to be. Like, do you remember taking photos with the flip phone and how crappy they used to be?
I thought they were pretty good then.
At the time, you're like, this is sweet. Or even like having to actually, take your film and drop it off and have it be developed, and then you spend like $8 just to have a bunch of blurry photos.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that too. Oh.
Yeah, I guess part of the reason I was curious is because some people like that the old analog photos and the old style of taking photos. All of that is still present in taking digital photos. Like, you're still thinking about depth of field and lighting and all of that. But have you like taken a picture of the same thing side by side and went, oh, I miss the old way, or do you just love the new digital technology?
I don't ever miss it.
No?
I think it's starting to make a comeback because people really like the process of it all, and it kind of makes you slow down and think about what you're actually shooting, because now like those new Sony cameras are 30 frames a second. Like, you can take a little video of whatever you're shooting. So if you kind of go back to your film, you're 30 shots or whatever and slow it right down and away you go. But
It's just a little bit easier now to get the perfect
exactly,
one, right? So,
exactly.
But you'll see across the like sports creator industry, people are bringing old digicams, even with like a flash that you can barely control, and just like blowing stuff out for this look of sort of a vintage. And last weekend I was planning on bringing my Polaroid.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think too, we find I think like once you've shot in the arena 30 times in 1 year, you have to think of some things that might mix it up a little. So I think bringing in maybe some film for that would be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the work that you have done in the arena. Both of you have brought some photos along today that we're going to show up on the screen here. Allison, we'll start with some of the ones that you've sent us, because I'm always curious. I would never want to pick a photograph from a photographer and say, here, tell us about this, but you guys have picked these, and this is, I can tell right away, it's Denny Gore, looking a little rough there for the attack, but when was this shot taken, Allison?
That's last year after Denny had that injury. He had a facial injury, I think from the follow through of a stick, and I just love that photo because it's so Denny, missing tooth, black eye. His mom actually took that photo and they replaced the Howie's hockey tape logo, but with Denny's face, and made him a shirt for Christmas, which kind of made my day.
There's Captain Colby.
Yeah, yeah. That tunnel is to me just such an awesome opportunity for pictures, and that we can be right there when someone's celebrating or coming off after a great game. I actually don't remember what was so exciting about that game, that particular one, but I liked that Nolan was there and giving a big hug.
Yeah, and the kids there.
Oh, this is just a couple weeks ago. Just Colby celebrating. We're always texting in between periods. I'm like, did you get that, Sally? No.
I hope so, did you?
Where were you? And sometimes it's interesting to move around. Like, you never know, that's up higher, which I don't often do, but I do like having the crowd in there sometimes. I wouldn't mind if the glass was cleaner.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say
I take my Magic Eraser to each game and
Really?
go in. Yeah, it gets rid of all the puck marks and the little squeegees you
I've
usually
been
get.
thinking about you guys and those puck marks on that glass, and how difficult it is.
Popcorn cans.
Popcorn cans.
This is last year. I went to the playoff games down in London. I just like that it's different. The bus is rolling in and they're unloading in the bottom of the London arena, and that's just Colby in his very white shoes.
Yeah.
That's the first game I ever shot in the last like 3 years when I started to shoot the attack, and probably when I took that picture of Gavin, I thought, oh yeah, I'm in trouble. I'll be here for a while.
You're like, this is awesome.
Yeah, just, I don't know. To me, every time you walk in that arena, you have no idea what you're going to see, what's going to happen on the ice, what part of that story is worth capturing. And to me, shots like that, I mean, they're pretty rad.
Yeah.
So.
And
Same with Mark Woolley. I like that one. I like his arms, and then there's that guy in the crowd with the arms the same. And you can tell. I just like how he's feeling.
That was a special season. I think that was his last season.
Yeah, that's right. I think in the playoffs of that last season.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, and there's Carter.
Yep.
This is at the Top Prospects game?
Yeah, this is at the Top Prospects game a couple weeks ago out in Moncton. They had this scrum area, which I think was a good experience for the players, a good experience for Carter. They had to like go out in the media area and give live interviews and stuff, but I really like the area there for pictures, all this neon, and I said maybe we'll just put some lights up in the tunnel, and that's him just waiting to play at the game, packed arena, just during the anthem. So.
And that's a newer building, I believe, in Moncton, New Brunswick. That definitely doesn't look like the old Moncton Coliseum that I know when I lived out there.
Pretty stunning. And that's him warming up for at that same tournament. But because Kubota is a sponsor, they had all these orange lights and stuff on the ice during practice, so pretty neat.
Wow.
And we'll take a look at another one there, Mark. There's one. This is a celebration.
I was going through these yesterday. This is when the first season we were around, so 21-22, the end of the season, when Colby scored his 30th goal. So you can't actually see Colby, but I think he's in the very bottom of that pile. So
I didn't put this picture in, but I actually got a different view of the same one from the penalty where the penalty box door is. So it's kind of neat when you're in different spots and you can get the same kind of picture. But.
Yeah. And then this is just a couple weekends ago, which game when they came back to win. It was a big win for them, and I think I put this in, and probably right after this I put in another one that's very similar but kind of more somber. Nope, not that one. But anyway, I like watching. If you watch long enough, you can see that the same players address the same people in the same way after every game. And there's those two shots to me. One's like Colby's looking him right in the eye to say, "Amazing job," but then the other one, he's looking him right in the eye to say, "Amazing job. We lost, but
it's okay."
Yeah. And this was I didn't really realize how special this shot was when I took it. It's Landon Hookey scored a goal, but he had just lost a key family member a few days before, and as soon as he scored, he pointed kind of to the sky, and his family was really I'm a mom. I like moms. I sometimes I'm not sure if I'm being intrusive to sneak around the corner to get sometimes we forget they're just kids and
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is just a couple weeks ago or a week ago when Braden Rogers scored his second goal of the season.
I was wondering about this because when I saw Colby grab him, I'm like, ooh, Colby's pretty happy that Braden scored there.
Yeah, so Braden and Colby are billet brothers also. So I think, again, to me, that picture, there's just a lot more to it, right? Like, you don't know what Braden's gone through and how much work it is to even get your second goal in a year as a defenseman. And so, yeah. But Colby knows. He knows what's gone on there, so that's why he's hugging him that hard. And that girl in the green shirt just makes it.
Yeah. and then warm-up buddies.
Oh, that's actually in a game. That's Madden just backing him up on a save that was going to go in. So
you can kind of see the little edge of the post down in the corner. He's hugging right up against it too.
Yeah,
so.
I think that relationship between the goalie and the defenseman is so key. And that's the one I'm talking about where they definitely did not win that game, but you'll notice the same dialogue will happen between them every time. I'd love to mic them up. And that's from Prospects. I just liked it because the puck has the logo of the event on it.
Oh, great shot.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think maybe that's it. I hope.
Why am I getting emotional looking at these games?
Right?
I'm like getting emotional looking at these photos.
That's the power of good photography.
Yeah, that's the whole story.
The story
is
being told, yeah.
And that's Prospects, just the traffic. Like imagine, that event's pretty interesting when it's someone you know playing under that much pressure, and you have like 36 people shooting on you that are the best people in Canada, not just 36 people shooting.
CHL,
Yeah.
And then this one I just think looks like an album cover.
Yeah.
They look like they're about to drop an R&B album.
Oh yeah. Denny and the Drifters.
Yeah.
And then this is
Carter.
Carter, but more of a portrait shoot I was able to do early in the year with his medal from the Helenka Gretzky. So
wow.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how old Carter is. It's probably 17,
He's
18, but
17,
he seems like he's about 42 because he's just so mature.
He's very mature.
So cool under pressure.
Yeah.
Sam, we've got about 4.5 minutes. We're going to show some of your work.
Sounds good. I can go fast. That's all right.
Yeah.
No worries.
Here's Carter again.
Yeah.
Speaking of Carter George.
Yeah. So that was actually kind of a tall picture, but that was shot at the Odd in Kitchener, and just everyone just. That was the one picture they always commented on, and kind of growing up, goalies were my thing, kind of watching Brodeur and Waugh and Eddie Belfour and that kind of stuff, so always kind of mimicking what they were doing while watching a game. So you'll see there's a lot of goalie photos in here. So these kids were pretty funny. They were at the last game. They were at the side at the tunnel there, always asking for a puck. And they asked if the pictures would get on Instagram, so I didn't know if it'd get on Instagram, so I thought I'd throw it in here and then it can be on TV. So thought that was good. This was when I kind of went to the dressing room early, got some cool shots of the Grays jerseys. So this is kind of what they call a double exposure, so the jersey's hanging in the background and then a close-up on the logo right on that, and I just thought it was cool. And the equipment manager, Trevor Castlegay, I think it was his grandpa played for the Grays, so he actually had the game book from when he was playing, so we kind of did some pictures with it too, but this was the photo I liked the best out of those. So this was the version of the walk-in that we did with the, I had my big flash outside, and Stewie just looked like he knew what he was doing
Looks
coming
like he's
into
on
the
a
game.
runway.
Exactly, yeah.
Runway.
So
It's a
and
runway.
yeah, so that was my pick of that walk-in shoot. So it was pretty cool. So this is actually one that JC really liked. That was his first interview with Connor when he first got to the Attack. So that would have been his second game in Owen Sound. We had a different filter on the end of the lens that gives it that bit of a flare, and just awesome guy. As soon as he came out and was talking with the fans and all that kind of stuff, you could tell he was here making himself known.
Yeah, he's already started a club with the Boys and Girls Club. The
Exactly.
Boys and Girls Club. That's how amazing this kid is.
Yeah.
And there's another amazing kid, Captain Colby.
Yeah, so I'm a big sucker for black and white photos. So this was just doing an autograph after one of the Saturday night games that just everyone's having a good time. Fans, the kids were super excited to see him, and Colby, like, you see him around with all the fans. He's awesome with the kids. So. And then this is another guy that's awesome with everybody, and Teos, the little guy, 7th skater, didn't quite know where he was supposed to go and all that, and Teos kind of skated out to center and said, come over and hang out with me. And so this is another one of Teos. There's we kind of get to go on the bench during warm-ups and that kind of stuff, so just playing with a different light, kind of editing a little bit, so just have a little more fun with it, and you kind of get to see the players up close a little better that way. Another one is Stewie in black and white, waiting to go in the game. He never really comes out too far, but that seems to be his spot, and just kind of the way the light hits, it always just kind of looks a little more dramatic.
Very dramatic, yeah.
Yeah. So
is this practice?
This is practice. So the games, my biggest thing is I never want to bug the guys. If they're gonna if they want to talk to me, I'll talk their ear off during the game. But otherwise, I'm gonna just stay out of the way. So I thought going to a practice, you kind of get to see what the guys are doing and goofing around. And this is they're doing a little shootout on Corbin, and this was what Carter was away, so they brought up Matt Kaprowski. So they were kind of doing some shootouts on him and kind of hanging them out to dry, but this is just them having a good time, so I thought it was a good photo for that. This was one I just really liked the look of Sam. Just really cool, so.
All right. We've got about 30 seconds left, guys.
That's all right.
We're going to throw your websites up on the screen too for everybody. It's just it's been so amazing to get to see, because we're lucky we get to see this up close, but the folks at home don't necessarily get to see these players the way that you guys get to see them through your lens. So it's so great to thank you again for bringing in these photos. If you're at the Attack Shack and you'd like to see photos from last year that these two talented people, Allison and Sam, have taken, please grab this book. I think it's only $15. It's not very much, but well worth it.
Hey, I'm Jay Crawford. And I'm Cedric Gano. And make sure you tune in on Attack Rap every week on Rogers TV to make sure you know what's going on with your own sound tech.
It's Krista McKee here of Wandering Gray Bruce. I am so excited to bring to you the 5th season of the show. We're going to meet some very exciting and interesting people. Stay tuned. This season, we are going to Chantry Island, visiting southern Grey County to explore barn quilts, and we have an exclusive interview with the Coast Guard at Tobermory. So join me on Rogers TV.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Welcome back to Grey County Life. We've got Renee from the Owen Sound Animal Shelter now joining us in studio with a very fuzzy friend. Now, if you have a big lap, we've got a big lap cat for you.
Big lap definitely required. As you can see, he's half on mine, right? Half on mine. This is my friend Lebowski, and he's one of the cats who have been at the shelter a significant period of time. We're going to say maybe the longest of all of the cats. Now, it's not that long. It's been like November, which seems like a really long time. But Lebowski came to us with a chronic infection in his eyes. And he also came to us as an intact male as he was found on the streets. Now, this gorgeous fella is either a Siamese mix, the Flame Point, or a Himalayan mix. We're not really sure. We just know that there's only so many breeds that come in this color pattern. The double coat makes me wonder about Himalayan, but it could also be Siamese. If you have a preference for either of those breeds, you make it the one that you want.
Yeah.
Right? Right. He has gorgeous blue eyes and this Flame Point, which will get darker as he ages. Interesting fun fact about Siamese and Himis is when they're born, they're almost solid white, and their color sort of comes through as they age. He is about 3 years of age, so he's not going to get that much darker, but he will darken, which should make his blue eyes pop. Now, in saying that, as you can see, I don't know if we can zoom into your little face. You open your eyeballs a little bit? No? Okay. Something we're going to talk about, which is a little weird, is that male cats, when they are not neutered, develop a little differently than our neutered cats. Because he had his parts for a period of time, these cheeks got to be giant. Male cats have scent glands in their cheeks, and when your cat rubs up against you, for example, because he loves you, he's actually marking you with those scent glands, which is why they get so big in the tomcats. As a side effect, we'll call it, of the big cheeks, sometimes cats who have had some sort of a respiratory type infection develop issues with their tear ducts. And the reason for this is that their cheeks don't allow for proper drainage. Your cheeks are too big for your face. So before he had his white parts removed, his cheeks were actually significantly bigger, and it was affecting the drainage in the eyes. The reason for this long story is that it is possible that his eyes will completely clear up. I'm just going to put you here so we can zoom in on your face. But if they don't, and we have no way of knowing what the long term will be, he just requires regular face washes. What will happen, I mean, we've seen it with Shih Tzus, I'm going to use that as an example, or your fuzzy-haired faced dogs. They often get red in here in their tear duct area. It sometimes stains the color of their skin. That is what is happening here. Think of the same idea. The skin is being irritated by the hair, and the cheeks and the drainage is not really working. He's got dirty eyes. Not a big deal. It's not affecting him in any sort of way. In fact, you could leave it if you wanted to look at it, which you don't. It's just regular face washes. That's it. Yeah. He enjoys it. He likes it. He's had a little face wash before he came. It's really not a big deal. It's literally a pet wipe, wiping his face. That's it, that's all.
Yeah, not like some big medication.
Exactly. It is, however, the reason people are not all that interested in adopting him, because they're like, oh, that sounds like it could be expensive someday. That could be a problem someday. He has been seen by 3 veterinarians. He's been given the all clear. He's just going to have goopy eyes. And they might stop. We're hoping they do, but we have to prepare you in case they don't. His other vetting is all done, and as you can see, he's like the most magnificent cat. He's very good with cats. He's very good with dogs. You're doing some extra shedding right now. You're not usually this bad. But
well, I mean, he had a car ride and stuff, so there's probably a little bit of stress.
He's a little nervous of the cameras, maybe. He enjoys cuddles. He'll follow you around like a little puppy, and he plays fetch. Because he's been with us such a period of time, we let him wander around. He's kind of running the place right now, and he'd fit just about anywhere, because we've done it. We've done all the things with you, and you're fine. Yeah. Can I sit you up here a little bit more? A little bit more. He's a chunker, though. You are a chunker.
That's why he's the big Lebowski.
He is. He is the chunker. Yeah, a big chunker.
Oh my goodness.
You were all cheeks. Yeah, you were. They are shrinking a little bit.
He would be the perfect companion cat for someone that's maybe a little bit older.
Exactly.
And they just want someone to hang out with them. They just want a buddy cat.
That's what he wants. He wants a buddy too. He just wants a buddy to hang out and rub his big cheeks.
Oh my gosh, he's so sweet. He's been making biscuits over there.
Yeah.
He's been purring, and he's just a perfect little gentleman here.
You are. You're falling though.
Oh my
Can I
goodness.
just? There you go.
So cute.
There you
Renee, let's talk about dog tags.
Yes. We should have mentioned it earlier as they go on sale January 1st, but they continue on sale at a discounted price until March 31st, which is why we're talking about it.
Okay.
A dog tag for a fixed dog right now is $20. A non-fixed is $35. That will jump $10 each as we get after that March 31st deadline. People often ask why we still push for dog tags because they're like, oh, come on, isn't that a thing of the past? Let me tell you why I want you to have one. If I get your dog running at large in the middle of the night and somebody catches it and calls me and says, I have a dog here and its tag number is 315 or whatever it is, I have that information on my cell phone, and so I can call you and I don't have to go pick it up, which is an amazing thing. Saves you some money, saves me a trip, keeps your dog safe and all of that. But additionally, it also means in an emergency situation where we need to get a hold of you for emergency reasons, we can.
Yeah.
A microchip is the only other piece of identification I can trace 24 hours a day. And in that circumstance, most people don't register their microchips properly. So please make sure you get your dog tag.
Yeah.
Another reason you want your dog tag is if your dog ends up at the shelter and you don't have a dog tag, you can be charged an extra fee. Don't do that. It's already a fee you have to pay to get them back. We don't want to make it worse for you. And the other reason to do it is that it goes towards the maintenance fees of things like the dog park. It pays for your poop and scoop bags at Harrison Park, those sort of things. So it goes back into the budget for animal services. So you want to do it. It's the right thing to do, and it's $20. So why not have a piece of ID? It also provides a great piece of jewelry for your pet to show all their friends, and it helps them jingle when you need to find them in the house.
It is the latest accessory.
It is. It is the newest thing. We can't buy anything for $20 that looks like
Look
this.
at that shade
right?
of
Like,
green.
look at it. Look at it.
It
Right?
is
You could buy one for yourself if you wanted. It would be okay.
Yeah.
To purchase these tags, you can get them at City Hall, or you can get them at the shelter. A lot of people now are doing it through e-transfers, and we drop them in the mail. You don't even have to leave your house. Just send me a message. We'll arrange all of that for you. We can take the money through e-transfer and mail it to you. It's really fun to get mail for your dog.
Yeah.
I like to address them to the pets just for fun. And why not, right? It's a whole little experience while you're at it.
Absolutely. And so if people are interested, they can just visit City Hall or reach out to Renee and register for those dog tags. Definitely an important accessory for every animal, as it means that they can get back to their humans.
Very important.
If they are gone for a little wander.
Yep.
Which, I mean, you never want to have happen, but it does happen from time to time.
It does.
Well, if you are interested in the dog tag information or about the Big Lebowski, definitely contact Renee. 519-372-1123 is the number to the shelter. You can also find them on Facebook. Thank you so much, Renee. I appreciate you coming in, and nice to meet you, Lebowski.
He's falling asleep now. Aren't you? Good night. Not stressed at all. How are you?
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
I still remember the games, the laughter, the footsteps through the hallway. I'll never forget the challenges.
Every day I come back from work, it's always like this. We're yelling in front of the kids.
I'll never forget the help we needed. How far we've come.
I'm Wendell Clark with a word about winning. We all know it takes a team effort in any sport and with any challenge. You can be a part of the winning team that shuts out impaired driving. Whether you're out on the town or just hanging out with friends, drink responsibly. Always have a plan for a safe ride home for yourself, your family,